All right. So, the latest article I'm going to go over is Judge ruling undercuts U.S. health laws preventative care. And the U.S. health law that this is talking about is the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. So let's see what is happening. A federal judge in Texas who previously ruled to dismantle the Affordable Care Act struck down a narrower but key part of the nation's health law Thursday that requires most insurers to cover preventative services that include screenings for cancer, diabetes, and mental health. Okay, why? Other no-cost services, including HIV screenings, are also impacted under the rulings by U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor, oh God, this idiot, that opponents say will jeopardize preventative care for millions of Americans. Experts cautioned that insurers are unlikely to stop any coverage immediately. The Biden administration was expected to appeal and seek a stay of the ruling. This is not the potential fatal blow to the ACA like other previous court cases, but it would limit a very popular benefit that tens of millions of people use, said Larry Levitt, Executive Vice President for Health Policy at the Kaiser Family Foundation. The decision comes more than 4 years after O'Connor, a nominee of former President George W. Bush, ruled the entire health care law, also known as Obamacare, was unconstitutional. The U.S. Supreme Court overturned that ruling. This time, O'Connor blocked only the requirement that most insurers cover a range of preventative care, including screenings for multiple types of cancer, siding with plaintiffs who include a conservative activist in Texas and a Christian dentist who opposed a mandatory coverage for contraception and an HIV prevention treatment on religious grounds. There you go. Because, your religious beliefs trumps everybody else's rights, is basically what I'm reading. The requirements for coverage are driven by recommendations by the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, which is made up of volunteers. O'Connor ruled that enforcing the recommendations was unlawful and a violation of the Constitution's Appointment Clause, which lays out how government officials can be appointed. Dr. Michael Berry, chairman of the federal task force, said in a statement following the ruling that people with low incomes have been able to get services they need as care has expanded over the past decade because of the law. Fundamentally, people across the country deserve the opportunity to receive these important preventative services that have been proven to help them live longer and healthier lives, Berry said. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said the Department of Justice and the Department of Health and Human Services were reviewing the ruling, but called the case yet another attack on health care law that has been in place for 13 years and survived multiple legal challenges. The Biden administration previously told the court that the outcome of the case could create extraordinary upheaval in the United States public health system, because there isn't one already. More than 20 states, mostly controlled by Democrats, had urged O'Connor against a sweeping ruling that would do away with the preventative care coverage requirement entirely. The ruling applies to recommendations made by the task force after March 2010, when the Affordable Care Act was enacted. Some of the nation's largest medical groups came out against the lawsuit, warning that insurers in the future could impose cost sharing on patients for screenings that are now fully covered. Levitt said if O'Connor's ruling is allowed to stand, insurers are likely to look at changes in coverages beginning in the next calendar year, since existing contracts are already in effect. Although the ruling impacts a broad spectrum of preventative care, it does not wipe out coverage for all preventative screenings. For instance, experts say the decision would not overturn coverage for preventative women's health services that were approved outside the task force. Some cancer screenings approved before 2010 would also not be affected, including screenings for cervical and colorectal cancer, said Alina Salanikoff, some senior vice president and director for women's health policy at the Kaiser Foundation. But she said screenings for lung and skin cancer, which were more recently approved, could be affected. In September, O'Connor ruled that requiring coverage of the HIV prevention treatment known as PrEP, which is a pill taken daily to prevent infection, violated the plaintiff's religious beliefs. That decision also undercuts the broader system that determines which preventative drugs are covered in the U.S., ruling that a federal task force that recommends coverage of preventative treatments is unconstitutional. Okay. What religious beliefs? The religious belief that HIV doesn't exist? The religious beliefs that gay people deserve HIV? Seriously, there is nothing in the Bible that says that gay people are horrible. I just don't understand this logic. Oh, right, there is none. If you think that there's something wrong with gay people, fine. You cannot go into a public sphere, in this case, a public business where you are offering health care to your employees, and force people to not get the care they need because you've decided that your religious beliefs are more important. An example, Joe Biden, personally, he's pro-life. Most people probably wouldn't know that because he only uses that belief for himself, and he understands that not everybody believes that, so publicly, he's pro-choice. Personally, he's pro-life. And that's the way it should be. You don't like gay people? Fine. You don't want to be around gay people. You don't want to help gay people personally. Fine. But once you are in the public sphere and having to offer health plans to your employees, you are no longer just talking about your beliefs. You cannot assume that everyone has your beliefs, nor should you force others to agree with you. So, no, your religious beliefs should not trump the law. You don't like that that's one of the preventative care. Oh, well, I'm sorry, but these plans have got to be broad enough. Because let's face it, I'm never going to use prostate cancer services. I have no need for prostate cancer screening. I have no use for that. But I'm not going to whine that my health plan covers it, and in essence I'm paying for it, just because I don't use it. I'm not going to have any need for contraception. I'm not going to have any need for any pregnancy services. But I don't bitch that I have to pay for that in my health care coverage, because it's not just for me. It is for the broad swath of people who could be potentially under this plan. It's not just about me. So why why should your religious beliefs have butkus to do with healthcare? We all end up paying for a health plan things we're not going to use, no matter what the reason, whether it be because like prostate cancer screening, I'm not male, or in my case, I never needed pregnancy screening, or pregnancy health care. I never needed birth control health care, but I never bitched that I have to pay for it. Yet I'm a woman. Why? Because there are others who use the plans who would need that care. So I fail to see why you think because you're religious that somehow that exempts you from caring about other people's beliefs. Fine. Don't use the healthcare. Don't use that care. Everybody pays for something that they don't use every part of. That doesn't mean that we should have personalized health care to every single individual. Oh, I'm never going to need prostate cancer screening because I'm female. So take that out. Oh, I never plan on getting pregnant. Take that out. Not going to need birth control. Never going to need this type of care, that type of care. That would be chaos. We can't do that. All right. Let's see, what else do we have in this article? Employers' religious objections have been a sticking point in the past challenges to former President Barack Obama's health care law, including over contraception. The lawsuit is among the attempts by conservatives to chip away at the Affordable Care Act or wipe it out entirely since it was signed into law in 2010. The attorney who filed the suit was an architect of the Texas abortion law that was the nation's strictest before the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June and allowed states to ban the procedure. Oh, why am I not surprised? Now, for some reason, conservatives have a problem with people getting health care, and I just do not understand why. Why are they against the Affordable Care Act? I mean, why is this a problem in general? Even if we didn't have this conversation about contraceptives or gay people needing treatment because they don't want to get HIV. So they use PrEP, which actually makes me wonder if that works for straight people, because straight people get HIV too. Granted, it's by different transmissions, usually by like dirty needles or blood transfusion or whatever. But I wonder if straight people could take PrEP so they don't get infected. Because why should it just be gay people? But regardless, except for those two issues, they want to strike down the entire law. As I said, this judge tried to do it, and the Supreme Court overturned it. Why? Why is this law so offensive to you? Why is it offensive to Republicans? I just do not understand it. I should say to most conservatives, because John Roberts was the one who actually was the deciding vote, which surprised a lot of people. But I don't understand why this is a problem. Again, just because you do not agree with certain behaviors I should say behaviors, because being gay, yes, if you have sex with a man, that's a behavior, but being gay is not. Um, but yeah, you might not agree with certain behaviors, which, like, whatever led to people need to be taking PrEP. I just, that's a you thing. Fine, I get it. You don't agree with it. But like I said before, these plans have to be broad ranging. They can't be so specific that there's a plan, labeled Joe Schmo's plan or whatever. These plans have to be broad enough that it's going to, well, make the insurance company money. Because if only one person is buying that plan because it's so specific to that one person, where are they making money? They're not, because the plan is so specific. So they have to make it broad so more people will buy into it. And when that happens, they have to allow for, gay people. They have to allow for women of childbearing age. I just don't understand why there is this assault on those groups of people. Because that's what I'm seeing. That people have a problem with gay people, that people have a problem with women. Because, I'm sorry, women's health care is not just abortion. Now, it did say in this article that women's health care would still be, that there are exceptions. And I assume that what they mean is things like the annual pap smear, the annual mammo, things like that. So it's not like they completely hate people. But I still don't understand, why are they trying to impose their religious beliefs on everyone? Because again, you don't like those things? Fine, don't use them. Don't engage in the behaviors that could cause you to get HIV, which is unprotected sex. Sharing dirty needles. Our blood donation has gotten to the point where you really don't need to worry about that, which makes the law that gay men can't give blood very weird. But anyway, I just don't understand why so many Republicans, so many conservatives are against people getting health care. I honestly do not understand that. And at least this is only concerning their little, my religion trumps your right to live thing. So it's not the entire law. But still, it's your religious beliefs are your religious beliefs. They're not everybody's. And why punish everybody? Because if the Supreme Court takes this up and upholds this ruling, then gay people will no longer be, because like I said, I don't see why straight people can't use PrEP. I don't understand the entire purpose of PrEP. My understanding is that it's just to prevent a person who's with someone with HIV from getting HIV. So I don't see why straight people can't use it. So why tell these people who need PrEP that, oh, by the way, that's no longer covered. The screening to the HIV screening is no longer covered, so we don't know if you actually are going to need to use PrEP because some dude in another state who has nothing to do with us decided his religious beliefs trump your health care. I mean, it just does not make sense to me. I don't understand why this is so so important to so many conservatives, because you want to be you want you don't you want to think that HIV is a punishment from God for gays. Fine. But once you decide that you get to be the arbiter of who gets health care based on your religious beliefs, that's a problem. Because what were to happen if a religion came into the majority that found a problem with something you do? No matter what that behavior is. What if they find out that what if they decide that something you do is bad? You'll have no leg to stand on. I know that you'll whine. These people are the same ones who are first to whine whenever they're being persecuted, because God forbid that the way they treat others would turn around onto them. Because this isn't persecution. This isn't against your religious beliefs. It's just that these plans cannot cater to just you. People exist who don't think like you. And the fact that you've decided that people should be forced to live the way you want them to because your religious beliefs trumps their ability to get health care and to live the way they feel they should, it just does not make sense to me. And I never understood why this was. I mean, is your beliefs so weak? Are your beliefs so weak that unless everyone is forced to live the way you want them to, that you're worried that you might start questioning? I'm sorry, that's a you problem. This is all a you problem. This has nothing to do with the rest of the world. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. And I will see you guys next time.